Thanks everyone, and welcome to Art Journaling. It's a mixed media class with me, Meghan Fahey. So as Felicia said, I work for Michaels and I am loving my job here at Michaels, really enjoying myself. And today we are going to play around with some watercolors and some pens, some markers. If you have stickers, if you have other paint pens, or different things, we can really make it a mixed media celebration by adding as many different elements as you want to. But the basics of what you're going to need today are going to be some watercolors. And it is fine with me for you to watercolor using any kind of palettes you have. Even if you just have a kid's watercolor palette of just a couple colors, anything to be able to put some color down on paper is going to be great. If you have watercolor paper, that will be ideal. If you don't, and you just have some kind of thick paper that can maybe hold some of that water, go with it. What you're going to find out today is that there are not a lot of ways to do any of what we're doing wrong. So whatever you decide to do is yours and it's your expression, so you can do it however you want to. So please just do not let yourself have rules in your mind. Just let whatever's happening happen. We'll put some color on paper, we'll add some designs and things like that and see how it goes. So along with this class, for those of you who when people say to me, I'm not creative, first of all, I don't believe you. Everyone is creative in their own way. But if you're one of those people who that's your message and that's the kind of thing that you say, I'm not creative, I don't know how to come up with things, I do have some templates. So when this class is on YouTube, underneath there'll be a PDF that has some different doodles and has some different designs on it. So if you're someone who likes to take inspiration from something else and kind of transfer it onto your own piece, I would love for you to take some of my doodles and kind of run with them. And just as like an example, we can lay down some swatches of color with our watercolor, and then just take a pen and kind of doodle on top of them. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to be good. Art journaling doesn't mean you have to write. You don't have to write words if that's not what you're feeling. If you want to write, you absolutely can. So any of those things are options for our watercoloring today. We're just going to take some round brushes. And again, if you don't have round watercolor brushes, if you have a different kind of brush, it's okay. That is absolutely okay. So let's go ahead and switch over to my overhead camera so you can kind of see what I'm working on. And like I said, I have this doodle page that I might keep. So if I get stuck and I'm not really sure what to draw or what to doodle, I might have these. Now, my personal Instagram is 4M Coleman. So if you have Instagram, I posted these doodle pages on my Instagram page so that you can see these. So if you don't have access to printing things out right now and you want to look at it on another screen, that might be an option for you to go to 4M Coleman and check out these doodle pages. Or you can make up your own doodles. You don't have to use my doodles either. So here are some examples of some of the things that I've been working on. I've just been splashing some watercolor all over some watercolor paper, and I've been cutting lots of different shapes and sizes. So this one's a little bit more introspective. It's a little bit more, has some words. Notice that I'm not filling the whole entire page with all my thoughts and feelings. I'm just kind of putting a couple sentences that mean something to me in various places. And then, like I said before, sometimes you're not ready for words, or sometimes you don't have the words to describe whatever it is that's going on. And I like to think about these doodles as kind of my mind untangling. Or if your life is feeling chaotic, then maybe you put some order into your life by making it into a purposeful design. So I really like to think about whatever's happening, finding ways to express it with different colors. It doesn't have to be for anyone else. It can just be for you. And there's lots of ways to do this. So I'm going to take a piece of watercolor paper, and the watercolor paper that I'm using is 9 by 12. And I have a paper cutter, but if you don't have a paper cutter, you can just use scissors. And I'm going to cut down to some smaller pieces because I sometimes find that a whole piece of watercolor paper can be overwhelming. But if I have a smaller size, like maybe 3 by 4 or 5 by 7 or 6 by 3, or maybe a bookmark size or different sizes to kind of play around with, then I feel a lot more comfortable being able to fill up the space with smaller pieces. So I'm going to take my paper cutter and I'm going to cut this 9 by 12 paper down So half of 9 is going to be 4.5. So I'm going to cut it half going this direction. And then I'm going to cut a couple more pieces. So maybe this way I'm going to cut to the 6. So I have some 4.5 by 6 different little cards. What's nice about these is that if I end up really loving these, you can always make color copies of some of your watercolors and then put them onto greeting cards. Or you can actually trim this out, put a little tape on the back of it and attach it to a card or use it as a postcard. So if you feel like sharing your feelings or your expressions, you can. I'm just going to cut some other random sizes. And hopefully those of you who are playing along with me today have some water, have some brushes, have some paints, and you're ready to go as well. So lots of options. We're just going to kind of see where the day takes us today. If you have questions as we go, please put them into the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. I'm using this watercolor palette that I got at Michael's. And what I'm going to do with my water is if I had a spray bottle, you can spray and just kind of wet your colors. If you don't have a spray bottle, you can be a little bit more creative like me. And I just like to dip my hands into my water cup and just kind of drop a couple of drops of water onto my palette. There are lots of different watercolor techniques, and I'll try and teach you some things about watercolor as we go, but I don't want you to feel like you have to be a brilliant watercolor artist to do what we're doing today. You can be a first-time watercolorist, and you can still have a really fun time with the art journaling. So I'm just dropping some drops of water or use a little spray bottle to get some of your colors ready to go. And I'm going to have one of my pieces of paper. Now, what you'll find happens is that when you're laying down colors, a lot of times your papers will start to curl up. So if you keep your watercolor nice and flat, a good option is using something like washi tape. It doesn't matter. My washi tape right now has Christmas patterns on it. So you don't have to have any specific kind because it's not a part of the design. But I'm just going to use some washi tape to kind of keep it flat on my piece of paper. You do not have to do this. Even if your papers start to curl up, I sometimes just let these dry and put them under a book to kind of flatten them back. And then I'll go back over time with some pens and with some other messages and things like that. So I'm taking this washi tape, if I can find the beginning, and I'm going to try and, I can't really find the beginning. Oh, there it is. And I'm just going to tape this down and give myself a border. If you've ever done watercolor with washi tape before, the best part is lifting off the tape at the end and giving yourself a nice crisp border. That's kind of fun. I'll move this so that you can see it a little better. I'm going to put a border all the way around, but you don't have to do this step if you don't want to. And a couple of the first things I want to tell you about watercolor is that there are several techniques. One is called wet on wet, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's wet paint and wet on the paper. So washi tape, the reason why I'm using washi instead of like Scotch tape is because it's not as super sticky. It's a little less tacky or a little less adhesive. So it'll pull back off, it'll peel back off really nice. Yeah, so you're gonna see that nice relaxing peel at the end of this. And it's thin, so washi tape is thin. You can also use masking tape. That would do the job as well because you're masking part of your paper. I'm having a hard time finding the end of this. There we go again.
Hey, Megan.
Yeah.
I received a question asking, does it matter how thick the tape is?
No, it doesn't. So I have done this before with blue painter's tape even. So if I have a nice thick, it doesn't matter. And I can just kind of move the tape to the side to leave as much of this as I want. And what's happening is this is going to give me a nice crisp border, and it's going to keep my watercolor paper flat. So it's okay if you don't have washi tape. I'll show you on the next painting I do one without washi tape, so it's not that big of a deal. But I do want to show you this because I think it's fun to do a little reveal at the end. So now I'm going to take one of my brushes and I'm going to show you wet on wet. So wet on wet means put some wet water onto your paper. So I know you can't see that because it's water, but I'm putting some of my water from my water cup onto my paper. And then wet on wet means I'm going to take some of the wet paint and put it onto that wet spot and just watch it. So it's going to like bloom. It's going to start dancing around your paper. And this is really just a time to check in with yourself and just pick colors that you're feeling, make designs that you're feeling, and just kind of play with it and really let things dance around on your paper and see different things. What I love about watercolor is that it's kind of like looking at clouds and seeing what you see. So don't think too hard about it right now, but later on we'll go back and we'll kind of see what we end up seeing in our design. And that might help you decide what words go with this. It might help you decide what kind of designs you would want to doodle on top. And right now I'm just taking some color and just putting it anywhere. And because I have this washi tape, I can go all the way to the sides. So if I take another color and use my paintbrush and go off the paper, that's fine because I'm going to pull that up and I'll still have a line. You can do this with watercolor pencils. So watercolor pencils kind of have their own techniques too, where you can draw with the watercolor pencil and then use water, or you can put water on the paper and draw through the water. So there's kind of that wet on wet or that wet on dry. So wet on dry means that the paper is dry and the paint is wet. So if I put some more water into my color and put it onto the dry paper, you're going to notice that these swipes I'm doing down here are a lot darker than the purple swipe I made up top, because the wet on wet really helps kind of dilute the color and spread it, whereas a wet on dry is going to make for darker colors. So I can always go back and add water to any of these. Sometimes it's fun to take your paintbrush and kind of splatter. So watch, I'm going to kind of take the bristles and just kind of flick them. And you'll notice I'll get some different pools of water and different dots here and there. And then I might add some more color to those dots and really just take your time and spread color. You do not have to cover the whole thing. That can be totally up to you. You can take what you already have and kind of keep spreading it by adding more water and kind of taking some brush strokes around, spreading that pigment further across your paper. The same thing I was saying about splashing water, you can do with splashing paint also. So if I take some wet color, get it on my brush, and then kind of flick my bristles, you can make some extra dots all over your paper. And that's a fun thing to kind of add. Now feel the feels while you're doing this. So maybe there's anger, maybe there's frustration, maybe you already have a sense of happiness and calm. So whatever you want to put into this picture is yours to do. You do not have to show it to anyone if you want to. But if anyone is playing along and making something that you would love to share with us, please tag us at Learn with Michaels. I'd love to see what you're making and see what kind of direction. Everybody can make such unique, different pictures. And I would love to see some of what you guys are making. So feel free to share those if you want to, but don't feel like you have to. It can be just yours. And I know we're doing this together right now, and I'm a lot of talking, but you can imagine that we're doing something really meditative and something that you can just kind of dive into and forget about some of the other troubles or worries you might have, and just play with color, play with paper, and play with water. So take your time, don't feel the need to rush. I love that so many of you that are here with me live are doing this with me. That is very cool. Because this is taped down, I'm going to give it some time and let it kind of dry before I peel up that tape. but feel free to keep adding. I might do a little bit more splashing. It is calming. You're absolutely right. This is exactly what I needed on this Friday. So if you take a little bit more of your color, making sure that it's pretty damp, and I'm gonna pull my bristles back and really let them rip. And that's just a fun feeling too of letting things fly. So if you're someone who loves control and do not like letting loose, try letting loose. See what it's like with paint instead of your life, right? It's easier to clean up paint. So I'm just kind of spraying some speckles and adding some different color. But wet on wet is a fun way if you've ever done paint pouring before. I love a kind of fluid art that just kind of travels. And like I said, you don't know what you're doing. And then once you're finished, I like trying to make meaning out of what I just put down on the paper. So wet on wet is kind of like that fluid art where the water is doing the job, not so much you. And so you just happen, you're just the conduit, let it happen, see what the paper looks like, and see if you like it. So you'll probably notice that as you are your paper starts to kind of curl up, and that's okay, and that's totally normal. So for me, that's why I have this tape, because it's trying to kind of control some of that curl. But don't worry if it's curling, it is really fine. So it won't take too terribly long for this to dry, but you can tape down another piece somewhere else, or you don't have to tape it all. So my next one, I'll show you that I'm not going to even tape it all. But for this one, I'm going to go ahead and pull up this tape just so that I can move it. But if you have one taped down to your paper, you don't have to move yours. I'm just doing this for the camera right now. But I'm going to peel up this tape, which is also a really nice, fun, relaxing move. So I don't know if you can tell, if you can follow this line of tape, it just has this nice, crisp border all the way around my paper. And I'll hold it up closer to the camera so you can see it. But I love the tape reveal. It's just another one of those extra soothing kind of feelings. Of peeling that up and kind of seeing what I came up with. And I'll hold this a little closer for you to be able to see. I love peeling up that tape. It's so fun. So it looks like people in the chat are taking breaks from work or at the end of their work day. So how cool is this? You see that white border all the way around, and you don't have to have a border. You can paint all the way off the sides. You do not have to leave a border. But especially if you're thinking about trying to put something into a frame, it's nice to have a crisp border, and then you can kind of put that into a frame. But you'll see in my painting some of those little speckles. That's from when I just really let that paint fly and let those bristles push them back, pulled them back, and threw paint down to see what happened. And I'm going to put this painting off to the side, and I'm going to take another one of my pieces of watercolor, and I'm just going to kind of make some more space to play with. And I'll let this one dry, and we'll come back to this, and I'm going to show you how to add some of the mixed media touches to this one. I think with this next one, I'm going to do some swatches of color. So I'm going to do something kind of like this one, where I'm just going to take some colors, maybe one color at a time, and just do a couple of brush strokes of a couple of different colors just to give yourself some swatches. Can you use a blow dryer to dry it? Absolutely, you can. So that is definitely an option, but it won't take long for it to dry, so don't worry too much about it. And I like making a lot of different surfaces while I'm giving that time to dry so that I have lots of things to play with. So Micron pens are waterproof, and as long as you let the ink dry before adding the watercolor, they'll work. So I am using these Micron pen. That was a comment that was in the chat, sorry. So thank you for sharing that. And yeah, there are ways to add texture. There are ways to add gradients, which is kind of the color changing. There's lots of different things, and we'll just keep exploring together and just kind of relaxing and having a good time. So I'm going to take this new page. I'm not going to tape it down this time. And I'm going to do some wet on dry. So I'm going to take some of my green, and I'm going to just go back and forth and really just make a nice swatch of color. Does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be uniform. It does not even need to be a square, it can be squiggly. It can be perfect or it can be imperfect. That is completely up to you. I love using Posca markers to add texture and add extra colors, and I'll show you more of that in a little bit. I'm switching colors, and in case you haven't already figured this out, with switching colors, I'm putting it into my water cup. I have 2 water cups. I usually like to keep one water cup that's my cool colors, like greens, blues, and purples, and then keep another watercolor cup that's like for the reds and yellows and things like that. You don't have to have 2. This is just kind of something I do. Or if your watercolor cup starts becoming too dark or has too much in it that's not going to give you a clear water, then you can just keep changing it out. But usually once I sit down and start painting, I don't want to keep getting up. I just want to use what I have and roll with it. So you can also kind of use a paper towel to change colors and make sure that the color is a complete color change. You can kind of take any of that extra color out of your brush before you go to the next one. Yes, someone in the chat just put that they rinsed their brush in their coffee. That is such a common occurrence. You have no idea. We all can relate. You gotta be careful. So I'm gonna take another color. This time I'm gonna take like a yellow. And I'm gonna kind of make another swatch with my yellow. And I don't get mad or upset if some of my colors blend or some different things happen because I think that's supposed to happen. And I'm just gonna roll with whatever shows up on this paper and make it work. That's life. So someone also in the chat is talking about those yogurt containers. Those are great watercolor cups because sometimes I like using the paper cups, but sometimes I might accidentally spill them. So that's why I'm using sturdier, just old cups. You can thrift some good mugs. I was a teacher for 17 years before I started working at Michael's, and so I have a lot of mugs. So it's another way to repurpose some mugs. Yes, cool. Somebody in the chat is talking about a watercolor brush. Let me see if I have one to show you. I thought I put one out, but maybe I didn't. But there are brushes that we sell at Michael's where the body of the paintbrush is a space that holds water, and then there's bristles at the end, and you kind of squeeze it as you go, and it releases water as you squeeze it. So it's all in one, especially if you're doing some watercoloring. Take a hike, put a little book in a book bag, and you already have your water in your brush, and it's really travel friendly. So that's a great idea. I love that. And I'm going to do one more swatch, and you can do as many or as few as you want to. And then I'm going to push this one off to the side and let it dry. I'm collecting some cool colors and papers that are just going to transform into lots of different things. I think I'm going to do one more base of something before I go back and add some paint pens or markers or any kind of other mixed media elements to it. So I'm going to do one more. And this time I'm feeling kind of greens and yellows. So I'm going to go with that. My favorite in-laws here, so that's good. Hey, Dar. Shout out. So we have lots of people from all over. As we were coming on today, we had people from almost every state, it seems, are joining us today. So I'm so glad that so many of you have taken some time for yourself to just really enjoy some nice relaxation. And we did talk about wet on wet. So again, wet on wet means that I'm putting some water onto the paper. It can be in a puddle or a splash. So you can see a little bit of this water hanging out on my paper. And then when you take wet on wet, you can add some wet paint to that wet color and just really let those blooms kind of take over. I also love to kind of hold up my paper if I don't have it taped down and let some of these watered pellets drip. This is another fun game I like to play. So if I take my paintbrush, you can see this big puddle of water and ink I have right here. If I just kind of give that another path, it'll let it start dripping down and moving across my other colors. So this is kind of that paint pour I was talking about before, where if you put some big puddles of color, you can kind of hold your paper up and let it drip and let it move and see what happens. So we have lots of different art teachers and different teachers and parents who are joining us today. So the wet on wet means that the paper is wet and the watercolor paint is wet. Wet on dry means that I'm using a wet paint on a dry piece of paper. And you can see that that's a much darker mark than the wet on wet because it's the pigment is less diluted. So you can use all those different techniques, or you can make up your own. So please don't feel like you need to be a professional. You just need to be you today. That's all you need to be. And I have a hard time leaving white space, which might say something about me. But I'm going to try very hard to not completely fill my plate, if you know what I'm saying, and leave some white space and leave some room to breathe, because some other magic might happen there. Oh, we have some people that are live with me that are showing some pictures. I love what you all are doing. Thank you for sharing. Lots of fun things. Take your time. How did you splatter with the paintbrush? So what I do is you can splatter with water or you can splatter with paint. So I have some water on my brush. It's kind of full right now. And I'm literally just going to pull my bristles back and let it fly. Or you can do a technique where, let me move these so I don't splatter on them. But you can do another technique. Let me try and get some color, where you might put your hand here and kind of hit the paintbrush on your hand. Now, this is a less control splatter, so you're probably going to splatter the things around you too, and maybe even your face sometimes. So please be careful with the reckless splatter, but sometimes you need a reckless splatter. So this is me just flicking my paintbrush at the paper or moving the bristles. You can actually use an old toothbrush if you want to, or a toothbrush that's just for watercoloring, and move those bristles and really give a good splatter. But check out the, oh, somebody put that in the chat. Thank you. So you can kind of see some of my yellow dots of splatter. And I'm trying to leave white space, so I'm trying to not keep adding to this. Leave that one a little bit more white. And I think I'm finally ready at this point to come back. And my first paper, I think, is dry enough for me to start drawing on. If yours isn't, that's okay. You can keep painting while I'm talking, and you can kind of just watch and know that you can keep doing this long after we're gone together today. And you can take any of these techniques and just keep having fun. Just keep relaxing and keep letting all of the painting help you relax. Ooh, a watercolor journal is cool, so you can work directly in it. I like to work on different pieces of paper because I don't always know what I'm going to do with these when I'm done. So if I have a piece that I like, you can laminate it, you can turn it into a bookmark, you can take a color copy of it, you can turn it into a greeting card, or you can just glue it or tape it down into your actual journal. Collect some of your artwork into your journal. You can either do it directly into your journal, or you can do it onto a piece of paper and just tape it or glue it in. And that's nice. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my swatches, and I feel like my swatches are pretty good for me to doodle into. So I have these doodle pages of just some idea starters, and I really like doing either these designs or just these sweet little, like, who doesn't like an alien face or a butterfly, just something silly, you know, or maybe you just pick a word. So if you have some kind of intention for yourself for today, maybe your word is hope, or maybe your word is courage or power or something like that. You can just take your pens and just write that word. Sometimes when I'm art journaling, I like to write the same word over and over and over and over and over again, because I really need to get that message through to myself. Or you can just, if you don't have words for it, that's okay too. You can just kind of use some doodles and just kind of see what makes you happy or what brings you some joy. So in this one, I'm going to kind of take this top left doodle that kind of looks like some branches, and I'm going to try and replicate similar to this on my green swatch down here. Now, you don't have to do what I'm doing. I want you to do whatever you want to do, but I'm using a Micron pen. There's black pens that you can use. Artist Loft has some black pens. Winsor Newton has some good black pens. I love Jelly Roll pens. Those are great pens to work with too. Even if you just have a Sharpie fine liner or something like that, that would be great. So here we go. I'm going to just kind of draw some of these stems. And again, if you don't feel like you're super creative, first of all, you are. And second of all, you can just start somewhere and go. So I'm just going to kind of follow this pattern and add some dots and some lines and make kind of these abstract little plants. What I think is fun sometimes too is for your drawing to go off of the swatch of watercolor. So I'll show you that on one of my next ones. And it doesn't have to be exact. You can make up your own design. Just have some ideas to get yourself started in case you have a brain freeze. Or maybe you don't want to think too hard and you just want to copy, and that's okay too. Oh, the doodles on your iPad are going to help you. Yes. So it's just sweet, just nice. If I wanted to, I could add a little thing, like maybe I just add a little word up here. So I just added the word growth. Maybe that's a little reminder to myself to keep growing, keep finding things that nourish me. You don't have to add words. That's up to you. On this next swatch, I'm going to do some of my different doodles. I'm going to show you some of my favorite doodles that I love to do when I'm talking on the phone or maybe going to a meeting at work that I'm definitely paying attention to, right, guys? So the brand of watercolors that I'm using are from Artist Loft, and you can buy them at Michael's. It doesn't have a thing underneath it, but they have these nice palettes. You can use this palette, or they have an even larger palette. I think this one has 36 colors. So if you really want to go wild and have a lot of colors, we also sell watercolor in tubes. So if you start to become very interested in watercolor and you want to be a lot more professional, you can use these pigments, and then you just put them into a little palette and add water to these, and then you can use those also. So keep that in mind. And you can keep reusing these over and over again the same way that you do the pans. Whoops. All right, on this next one, I'm going to show you something that I love to do to just kind of relax. Again, it might be that thing of if you don't feel like you have a lot of control in your life, this is something you can control. So maybe it's kind of an exercise like that, where I like to just draw a bunch of circles. And I'm going to keep doing circles of different sizes. And I'm going to keep attaching them next to each other, kind of like bubbles. Oh, you wrote inside of a tree. That is awesome. I love that some of you are able to show us, have a little show and tell. Marcia, if you don't mind holding it up again, I'd love to see what you're doing. Ooh, look at Emma. That's awesome. Feel free to turn on your camera and share if you want to, but you don't have to. So cool. Thank you. Oh, yay, Hazel. That's awesome. Very cool. Love it. Yes, okay. I see that iPad doodle. Lovely. I'm so glad so many of you are playing along with me today. That's awesome. If you do have Instagram, I'd love to see some of your final products. Oh, thanks, Melinda. Look at that. That's lovely. That's beautiful. Thank you. So I'm just going to keep drawing circles. And when I have circles that don't quite fit together, so if you can see, if you have some space in between your circles, I just like to color that space in. So I just keep going and keep making circles and circles and circles. And whenever there's a little bit of a blank space, I like to just fill that in with my pen or with a marker. I'm using a Micron pen right now, but you can use a Sharpie, you can use a gel pen, you can use whatever you have. You could even use a ballpoint pen, nothing's stopping you. So I'm making all kinds of circles and I'm filling in the empty blank spaces next to them. And I'm going to try for some of these circles of different sizes to the paper too. So some of my bubbles are just really churning, taking over. And I like it when it goes off the color swatch too. I think that's a cool technique. If your pen starts getting a little dry, sometimes your watercolor might not be as dry as you want it to be. You can always just mark on another piece of paper until your pen starts getting its ink back. Sometimes the watercolors can be a little chalky, and so that chalk might start collecting on your pen. So you just need to color on something else for a minute to kind of freshen up your pen again, and then you'll be ready to continue. So I'm just kind of letting my bubbles pour over my space. And I'm going to keep going because this is just really relaxing and really fun for me. So if you're someone who doesn't love your own handwriting, not to be dramatic, but I had a fourth grade teacher that gave me a B- in penmanship, and I obviously never got over it. Still bitter. But a different way of writing words without using your own handwriting could be stickers. So I love, love, love stickers. This is one of those sticker sets from like the creative Create 365 Happy Planners. What I like about these sticker sets is that oftentimes they have really cool sayings. So for example, if I don't love my own handwriting, some kind of sentiment, this one says, life is a journey, enjoy the ride. And what's cool about this sticker is that it's see-through. So you can actually pick this up and put it down on your, and look what I just did, right? How cool is that? So with these clear stickers that have these sentiments or these phrases on it, then you can add just that extra sentiment, life is a journey, enjoy the ride, onto your page. So I love these little sticker books, and these are definitely available at Michael's in kind of where all the paper and the scrapbook things are. So sometimes you pick a sticker and you can put it in the center and build out around it. And let me show you an example of one of those that I've done. I think I just had it. Here it is. Here's some space so you can see what I'm talking about. So with this one, it says, life's a journey, enjoy the ride. I took that clear sticker from my sticker pack. And after I did all my watercolor pictures, sticker on top. And then I went back and I went with my black pen and I just started kind of picking up some different designs and just drawing extra lines on it. So that's what I'm going to do on one of my next pieces, is kind of show you how to add in some of those black lines. I had a friend who was talking to me last night who there's something called a reverse coloring book. I don't know if you've ever seen them before, where they'll give you a page that looks like this and you get to draw what the picture was. So it's kind of like going backwards. And that's what I like to do with my pens too, is kind of find different designs, kind of like looking at the clouds, like I said before, and figuring out some of my own designs. So
Hey,
with
Megan,
this, yeah,
before you go back into it, someone is asking, what size pen are you using?
what size pen? It is a 0.45 millimeter pen is the one that I'm using, a Micron 5. But yeah, there are lots of different sizes. I think the number is how big that the tip is. So there's different sizes and different colors of Micron pens, and there's also different brands. So feel free to kind of branch out and try. I've also used this Artist Loft, which is a 1, and I can show you the much, much finer tip that you're probably able to see on camera. So the doodle pages that I have, if you have Instagram, you can look right now at 4M Coleman and get these doodle ideas. If you don't have Instagram, Felicia's been dropping the link in the chat. And when we post the YouTube video, there'll be a link underneath the YouTube video where the doodles will be available also. So I'm glad you're enjoying those doodle pages, and you can keep enjoying them even after our time together is over. Ooh, Catherine is going to show hers. We're having some show and tell with our live audience. Yes. Ooh, look at that beach one. Okay. Catherine, thank you for sharing. The iPad is at it again. Loving these. Thank you so much for sharing. That's so cool. You don't have to share. Don't feel like you do, but oh, Hazel, look at all your doodles. Looking good. Thank you. All right, now I'm going back to my original painting. And with this one, because I used a couple of different colors, I'm going to show you how I do that technique where I kind of block out the colors. So this is kind of what I call that reverse coloring book kind of effect, where I'm going to find where the colors change, and I'm going to draw the line around the color change. So here is like my teal spot, and it changes to purple here. So I'm just going to make note of that change by drawing a black line there. And I'm just going to keep going. And you can go as small and as detailed as you want to, and kind of highlight your color changes by outlining them in a black pen or using a gel pen if you want to use a white gel pen. Sometimes that can look really, really cool. And it does not have to be perfect. There is nothing that needs to be perfect about this. So whatever you are doing is right and correct. And I'm just going to keep going and adding some squiggly lines and letting those colors kind of help me decide where I should go on the paper. And I am allowed to make up my own lines even if I don't see them, add in some extras if I want to. But I like kind of doing this to give me some different sections. And you can already tell that my watercolor painting looks very different than it did just a couple minutes ago with those extra bits of color or those extra pen marks. So I like the definition that adding that pen, adding that extra element of mixed media. So mixed media is just using multiple types of mediums at the same time. So using a watercolor and using some ink, or using a watercolor and some acrylic paint if you have a paint pen, or using a sticker. So the sticker book that I showed you before was the Happy Planner. There are lots of different ones that have lots of different types of words. So you can find whichever one kind of speaks to you. I'm going to keep going and kind of outline some of these different color changes. And then sometimes when I have like some splatters or some white spots, I really like to highlight those with like some little circles, kind of like how I like to do my bubbles before. So I really like just kind of highlighting some of those white spaces by outlining around them, even if they're teeny tiny. I like the way that that looks. I know everyone is doing so well. So feel free to do as much or as little of this outlining and color blocking as you want to. And if you notice something, if your kind of cloud painting starts to look like a dog, turn it into a dog. If your cloud painting starts to look like a Van Gogh, turn it into a Van Gogh. Roll with it. See what happens. All of this is just kind of coming out of you and wants to be on this paper. What I love about watercolor is you can do it happy, you can do it sad, you can do it anytime. Somebody said theirs looks like Italy. That's funny. And yes, stamping images on top of your watercolor background. That was another idea I was going to bring to your attention. So there are lots of different kinds of stamps. I found this stamp at Michael's the other day, which is this cute little jar. You can imagine that if I have like a really cool background with my watercolor and then just stamp this little jar on it and write something like a thank you note or a happy birthday or something like that, maybe draw some little flowers coming out of that. That's really adorable. So these stamps work really well too if you don't want to doodle or if you don't feel like that's your thing, maybe stamping is your thing. So you can consider that. Or finding stickers that say things, you can do that too. I hope that some of you decide to share some of your pictures on Instagram because I think there's a lot of talent out here and a lot of good expression. So it doesn't have to be about talent. It can just be about you expressing yourself. But as long as you're having fun, I think you're doing it right. Now, when it comes to like the art journaling part, I can think about a word if I want to, and I can kind of fill in these spaces with words. So sometimes I take a look at what my piece looks like. And this one, I decided to add a bunch of hearts, and it says, life changes every time. The future moves, don't fall. So just kind of words that just kind of spill out almost like a little poetry. Doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. It can just make sense to you. But I just did that same thing where I found all the different spaces and able to take any of those blank spaces and kind of put some words in. Or you can keep putting doodles in, that's fine too. Here's another example where I used one of the stickers. So this sticker says, be bold, brave, and brilliant. And then this one also, I took some Posca paint markers. So this is what a Posca paint marker looks like. And some of the stuff that's on top of the watercolor is this paint marker instead of a pen. So if you start getting into this art journaling, feel free to kind of grab all different kinds of supplies to try and just some little dots and some extra lines with other paints is really a good fun thing to do too. So someone said that they were dabbing theirs with a napkin, and that goes back to a question that someone asked in the chat a while ago about texture. So you can create texture by kind of doing different colors, but you can also create texture by when this is still wet, using a napkin and kind of going like this, and whatever pattern is on your napkin or paper towel will kind of come on that watercolor swatch also. So that's something that's fun to do. And I enjoy doing that as well. So I'm not feeling words right this second on this one. So what I'm going to do on this one is I sometimes like to take some of the spaces. So I'm going to take this red space up here and I'm just going to draw some lines. And I'll hold it up closer in just a moment. But I like the repetition and that feeling of kind of just calm, of doing that same line over and over and over again to fill up a space. So I like to try and keep my lines as parallel to each other as I can and just fill up one of those regions of color with one of those doodles. You can use your doodle page. You can do some bubbles. You can do some triangles. You can do some squigglies. Anything you want to kind of fill one of those spaces. I like that. Someone's asking about the paint markers again. So these are Posca paint pens. They're really great. I love these. They're so good. Just an acrylic paint that comes out really nice and smooth. So you can get real detail with your painting or with your lines. Maybe in another one of these boxes, I think in this one right here, I'm going to do a repetitive word to kind of fill some of this space. So the word that I'm just going to write over and over again is going to be hope. And I'm going to keep writing the word hope over and over and over and over and over again and try and fill up some of that space with that word. Just let it sink in. It might not all fit, and that's okay. So whatever message you might need to hear is the message that you should keep repeating over and over again. Let it sink in. So I really like the way that that looks. Just the repetition of that same word over and over again just really adds something, makes it very personal, makes it very expressive, something that I can tape down in my journal, kind of remember this day. But we all got to watercolor together. So that was a fun day for me. You can add more designs, you can leave different spaces the way they are. I think I'm going to fill one more of the spaces and then I'm going to call this one. So with this, I'm going to do some spirals. So I'm just going to fill some of this purple space with a spiral. Love that. Some of the spirals will be smaller. I'm going to try and fill the space with them. Oh yeah, some people are throwing some pictures into the chat, so thank you so much. So those are my spirals that I just did in this top corner with the purple. So I have my hope, I have my spirals, I have some lines, and I think that this piece is finished. So I love the way this looks. I'm really happy with this one. Then I can put it off to the side. So I think we have just about 4 more minutes together, but I hope you don't stop when this class is over. I hope you really just take some time for yourself and keep going. Just keep going and make whatever comes out of you today. Come back to it to see what comes out of you tomorrow. You just never know what it's going to be each time you do it. So with this one, I'm not sure where I'm going with this one yet, but maybe I'll try some of those paint pens to kind of show you something a little different in case you're interested in dabbling in that later. I think I have a nice white paint pen. Let me make sure that it's ready to go. Yep. So, I don't know what's going to happen with this one. So I saw someone just said in the chat that this was very relaxing. So I think I'm going to go with the word relax. Good reminder, we're about to start this. So plans might change, things might be different schedules. You find some time to relax. And then I can even go back with my one of my black pens and kind of outline my words so that they stand out a little bit more. And when I outline, I don't always outline perfectly because I kind of like it when some of the black lines into the colorful space or over top of the white for the paint I laid down. because I am kind of drawing on some paint that's a little bit wet. I'm just marking on my blank paper to kind of get my pen going again. If it gets clogged up with some watercolor or with some of my acrylic paint, I just keep doodling until I start getting the ink flowing again. And there we go. So this is just a nice reminder for me to relax. Ooh, Colleen, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Oh, we are getting some good in the chat. Thank you so much. If you have Instagram, feel free to tag us at Learn with Michaels. And I just really had a good time today too. So thank you so much.
Megan,
Yeah, go for
Megan,
it.
before you sign off, is there any other particular watercolor brushes that you would recommend?
Michaels has really good, anything that's a round brush is your best bet. What's nice about a round brush is that it has a lot more plump bristles. So this is what we call a flat brush. And so it's more rectangular. So it doesn't hold a lot of water. Whereas something like these ones, they're made on purpose for watercolor. Here's a great example. See how plump that is with lots of fibers on it? So it can hold a lot more of the water. And so these round brushes are going to be a lot better for your watercolor. But if you don't have those and you happen to have some of the other flat brushes, that's okay too. But Artist Loft makes some really good watercolor brushes. So feel free to grab some of those next time you're at Michael's. And I am kind of wrapping up. So if there's any last minute questions, let me know in the chat and I'll try and answer them for you. I do hope you keep painting and I hope that you join us again. So Felicia, if you don't mind switching over to my other camera, Felicia, Felicia and I do this on Thursdays and Fridays. We have all these different art classes. Yesterday, I taught people how to hand knit a flower pillow. So it's not always watercolor. Sometimes it's crochet, sometimes it's knitting. Sometimes we are card making, sometimes we're using our Cricut machine, but Thursdays and Fridays, we have lots of great free online classes for you to join. And if you can't ever come live in person like you did with me today, you can always catch these classes once we post them to YouTube. So the Michaels YouTube channel is full of all of these different kinds of classes from lots of different instructors, not just me. So feel free to just dabble. Oh my gosh, there are so many good pictures that you are sharing. Thank you. Oh, Martha, that's beautiful. Carrie, Emma, I see all your paintings. Thank you for sharing that iPad. Ooh, a mushroom. I see a mushroom. There we go. Melinda, that's lovely. Thank you so much for sharing. That eye is cool. I've had a great time. I hope you have too. Hazel, thank you. That's lovely. Kids need more. Absolutely. Have a good day. Try and take some time for yourself, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.